Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be going over Wolverine, which is currently my second favorite champion in the game. I think that this character is super underrated. I think there's a lot of eyes on him in the wrong way. I think a lot of people don't really understand his goal or his kit or like what he wants to do as a character. Wolverine's a really, really good tank buster that can play kind of like a really heavy bruiser when he has the right tools and whenever he has the right team to play with him. Right now I see a lot of people ranking him as the worst character in the game, like generally. And I don't think he's that. I don't see it. I think that he's a lot better. I just think he is one of those characters that needs time to cook and is a lot harder than others. So you guys really loved the Magic video. I figured why not do this with a character that probably deserves it a lot more, because there are probably going to be a lot more people scratching their head looking at this character like, what the hell are we doing? So here we are. We'll go over some stuff really quick that's like most important. First of all, his passive. We go ahead and take a look at the bottom right.
Here come our next victims.
Specifically the regen passive. So he begins to heal and rise with a hefty bonus health, shaking off all debuffs, specifically after he dies. So he has to lose all 300 HP. He gets 300 HP back. If he makes it to the end of the duration, he gets all of his HP back that he has at the end of the shielding. So essentially, at the start of the game, when you have your passive up, you're a 600 HP tank. Pretty good. Pretty awesome. We like that. It's super duper good. It has its benefits. This is a similar situation to Magic where Wolverine is going to do more damage than a tank, but it's a little bit different than other DPS characters, and we'll go into that a little bit more in a minute. So let's go ahead and take another look. His basic attack is pretty good. It's just a 4-hit combo, pretty standard. So it builds rage whenever you deal damage, which is how you built your rage bar, dealing more damage. And it deals 7 per hit. So a full stack of 4 hits is going to do 28. It's pretty good. But you can actually combo that with what is his right click, which is the Vicious Rampage. So we're going to go ahead and go over this. After landing your first 4 attacks, you actually want to cancel it by pressing your right click, which is your Vicious Rampage, and then you're going to land another 4 attacks. It actually auto resets your auto attacks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right click, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 76 already. Really, really good. When you're brawling with your team, you want to try and maximize your damage. If it's safe to do this, go ahead and use it. If not, we are just poking like so and dashing out and waiting for our team. We get our HP back. We're doing the same thing, dashing out, waiting for the team. It's really simple. So, with that being said, we talked about the damaging capabilities of the right click. Let's go ahead and talk about the defense ones. Mainly, beyond the damage part, you're actually going to be using this for resetting your position after doing things. It's on a 3-second cooldown, so it's pretty short. Practically 4 because of the animation. But it takes you a pretty decent ways. If we look, I'm here at the bottom. There's the top part. We want to go up there. No problem. We're up there. No problem at all. This is really, really good for his playstyle, which we're going to talk about in a minute. It's a really, really nice gap closer. It can be. But mostly, you want to use this as chase potential because he's stubby. His left click, his auto attack is not super long range. It's not like Magic's giant, broad, arcing swings. It's more of like slashes, which you can see. Like, these are not very far, and they are not further than they look. Trust me, they are actually... Sometimes it'll feel like you're hitting oxygen, shadow boxing. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into his leap, his shift. This ability, nobody knows how to use it. Nobody that first times this character is going to understand how to use it, and it blows because they really, really need to teach. I wish there was an actual character tutorial in this game to kind of give and inspire people to learn how the character's supposed to work. So you'll see a lot of people in your games that are like insta-locking Wolverine. They're like, oh, this character looks like he's like cool or whatever. I love Wolverine in the movies. And they're going to see him like, oh, he's got a really big leap. And they're going to do this.
Let's do this.
And they're going to miss. And they're going to have no escape. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I hit like a feather. Not understanding that that's not exactly what you want to use the leap for. When I play Wolverine, I call this character Captain Kidnap. We just want to steal players, like, in general. So, what do I mean by that? Mostly, since we're going to be doing this on tanks a lot of the time, let's go up to the tank, and rather than using it at him, we're going to use it on top of him. I pick him up, he's mine. And that's some damage. Okay, so there's one other thing. I'm recording this in post because I realized I did not talk about this, but I'm going to put it in
Look
where
who
it needs
just
to go.
showed up.
Holy crap, dude, the talking. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to put this where it needs to go in the video, but I didn't talk about, like, what you want to be doing. Like, the actual way to play this character. What am I supposed to be doing to engage with this character? Now, it will be in a more in-depth video where you're going to actually see a lot more that is dropping on the same day as this video. But Wolverine is actually, you want to play him kind of like an assassin whenever you're in neutral, which we talked about in the previous video, where the two teams are colliding and nothing is happening yet. You're just poking each other, seeing how everything goes. This is actually where this character shines a lot. Hiding and playing neutral with this character is going to do you quite a bit of service. The nice thing about this character is that you break neutral really, really easy. You want to be waiting. You want them to mess up. The tank steps too far into your team. Say, this pink block right here. This one right in front of me. See this corner? This is where we want him to be. And then our
Look who
team is
just
actually
showed
the
up.
far corner right there. We want to wait for him to go.
Gotcha.
And we just want to take him. And then he is behind their team. This is only
that
helpful.
coming.
It's the same concept as what we talked about with Magic. You have to be looking at where your tank is. This is the biggest thing. We'll go ahead and we'll go back over this. Layers of entry 222. Our team is, say, on layer 15. Their tank is on layer 5. We need them to walk up to layer 10, so that way we can bring them to 15. So in this situation,
You're mine.
here we are in layer 15. There we go. That is what we want to be doing. That's kind of the
I'd stay down
mindset.
if I
I
were
realized I
you.
didn't talk about that, and that's probably the biggest thing that I got told was really helpful, was that people didn't go over that with Magic. There will be a video later today going over the rest of that if needed. I feel like a lot of you are pretty good and are going to understand this a little bit more without it, but for those that need it, it'll be up there pretty soon.
Here come our
For
next
one more
victims.
time, we're going to go ahead and go over it once more, just for the full run around. We want our tank to be close enough to that way we can be guarded, especially if we don't have the passive, which we have gone over is really, really important. You are really, really, really going to want to drag them into our team, specifically into our team for safety, and that is what you want to do 9 times out of 10, or if you know you can isolate them, that is when as well. But it's relying on two things. One, where's their tank, where's ours? If their tank is over pushed, we can take a support. If their tank is not, and ours is pushing further, we can take their tank and put them behind our tank, and we can make it really, really good. Biggest thing. We take, and we are moving them to where we want to go. We are making the shots. We are
I'd stay
effectively
down if I were you.
setting the tempo. And what is this going to do? It's going to make their DPS have to do one of two things. Either they respect you, or they switch to Iron Man to kill you. That's it.
Got
Or name
eyes
one.
on some bogeys.
That's the biggest way. This character is really, really good at disruption. He's really, really good at setting the pace of the game for your team, provided that your team is willing to help you and play around you as your character, since you are not a traditional DPS. Anyway, I'll go back to the regular part of the video. Sorry about that. Thanks so much. Which leads me into another part. Wolverine actually does percent base HP damage. So he's actually going to be more effective at damaging tanks than other characters because
who
of that.
just showed up.
Because the more HP the target has, the more damage he's doing to said target. It's really, really great. Wolverine excels at stealing a tank and just wiping the floor with them. This is really strong. Being able to just remove somebody from the fight when you are good at this character is... the amount of value you get out of this is actually not something I can put into words. You can quite literally take somebody off the board. Even if the situation comes where you die, say in 50% of your games, especially in gold or below, because everyone wants to play their Spider-Man and insta-lock and lose. When you steal that solo tank, that's the game changer. The other team actually cannot function without that tank. Your team walks onto site and they kill. And if you have your passive, you're probably not dying to that tank. They're not solo killing you unless you're throwing. Like, especially when you have this ability. And 9 times out of 10, if it's a Hulk, you're actually able to duel that guy. If it's a Strange, you can duel him. Like, you can win that fight. It's pretty easy for you because there's not a lot of mechanical value after the dash, like the leap. The issue comes for Wolverine when your team is fish. They don't do anything and they don't understand. Or you don't have passive, because then things get really risky on this character. The passive cooldown for his regen factor goes down with damage and kills that you take, like get and assists that you get on kill like characters, but it's a long cooldown. We're talking like a long cooldown. If we go ahead over here and we just take a look, we're gonna let this damage us really quick. Maybe. There we go. So we're just gonna let this damage us all the way down to 0, and we're gonna see. So here we go. We're down to 100. Nice. All right, so 205 HP, and we'll go ahead and see. So we get our HP back. It's on 84-second cooldown without kills, and then every kill resets it for 10 seconds, which is nice. But that's still a long time, and you're not solo killing a lot of characters with Wolverine when you don't have your passive. That's the biggest problem. He lives by it. It's his sword. It's his code. It's his passive. If your tanks aren't playing with you, and you're not queued with your tanks or supports, Wolverine becomes a much harder character to play. Making this character work in solo queue is going to take a lot of time. He's not like Magic. You can't carry games unless you were actually really, really good at adapting on the fly. This character is not for the faint of heart. You're going to lose a lot. I'm just letting you know. But anyway, enough of that. We'll go ahead and talk about a Z. It's a damage reduction, so that's pretty solid. You use it before you go into a fight. You reduce damage. It's pretty nice. It's as good as it can get. It's damage reduction. You know, you can't complain. It's pretty simple. Standard, 5 seconds. Pretty good. Now, let's talk about his rage, okay? So rage builds up whenever he's using attacks, and he takes hits, boosting the damage of his claw strikes, and the bonus from your healing factor. So it brings it from 200 damage to about 300 that you can take if you're in your full rage mode, which is really, really good. 600 HP on this character is insane. And a lot of time, if you are in passive, 9 times out of 10, you're probably full rage anyway because you grab the enemy if you know what you're doing. So we'll go ahead and see it. So that's a damage. Wait, oh no, it's not. Okay, that's a full damage of the Wolverine stuff without full rage. Okay, we'll go ahead and see it with the rage bonus. If this guy can respawn. Okay, so that's the damage full without it. Much better. We're talking a lot better. And it's actually really, really handy because it also benefits Wolverine's ultimate, which is one of the best DPS ults in the game. This thing is an actual game changer when you use it correctly. It's a giant knockup from anybody in a straight line of you. So it's it's a CC, which is crazy. CC in this game is really good in a 6-man because there's not a lot of hard CC as damage characters as it is. So having that is incredible at your disposal. You're going to charge it fast because you're doing a lot of damage and you're taking a lot of damage. So it's really nice. And on top of that, it gets better when you have rage mode up. And I'm not talking a little bit better. This thing will nuke. Like, it is crazy strong. So we can go ahead and see. It's really good. So we'll go ahead and get both these guys right here, and we'll see what we can do. Can you respawn, please? There we go. And it lifts you into the air, and it's pretty good damage. And it's also, on top of it being a knock-up, if you land the final attack on the opponent, it's also a knockdown, which is crazy. So we'll go ahead and take a look. The knock-up. There's the knockdown. He just flew all the way up there. It's really, really good. It is really good. Super underrated. Nobody talks about it. Now, again, this character is a bit different than most. What you are wanting out of this character is not what you're wanting out of a pick that's super safe and like some of the best characters in the game. Hawkeye, Hela, these juggernauts of characters. They're actually ludicrously good. The reason is because Dive right now is not in a really, really good spot. There's a lot of counters. Penny Parker makes this character miserable. Namor makes this character miserable. It's really hard. But if you can get to the point of this character where you're really, really good, you are going to make him shine in ways that people are not going to see. Every time I see a good Wolverine, or I play Wolverine and I do well, people are like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea what this character does. Because a lot of people think that this character just sits there in AFKs and dies. And a lot of the time that's going to be the case. It's really hard. Every game has to be treated with a different tempo on this character. And until people understand that and kind of get down a scientific method for how he works, it's going to be hard. Let's go over something else. It's more of like a nuanced thing, like a finicky situation with Wolverine that I actually really enjoy about him. So everybody knows that Spider-Man can drop people off cliffs. Everybody knows that Jeff the Shark can go and jump into the team fight and die and jump off cliffs. It's really, really cool. Super funny. Wolverine can actually do it too, and he's actually really good at it. If you're playing near a ledge on Wolverine, it's really scary. If you land shift, we're gonna imagine that that is a drop off, and if you go down there, you are dead, right? So let's go ahead and do it to this guy.
You're mine.
That guy's dead. And it's not that hard to land. If you get the timing down a little bit, it's pretty simple. A lot of people talk about that. It's really, really cool. I absolutely adore it. It's really nice. It gives a little bit of an extra layer. There are certain points in this game that are on domination that make really, really, really good work of this. Specifically, it's the one with like all of the moving parts of the building. It's this particularly like you're on the metal area and there's lava. Really, really good there because you can drop people in there. I had that happen to a Captain America in one of the games I played earlier. I think that's in the video that I'll be dropping tomorrow on the same night that I'm recording. I'm recording this video the day before I'm dropping the video, but I'm having 2 videos go up tomorrow. So on the same day you guys are, it's a double upload the day that you're seeing this video. That's all you need to know. Anyway, this character is really, really good. I think that he's going to need time to cook, and I think that when people actually figure him out, when we get some one tricks on the scene for this character, we're gonna see some crazy shit. There is a lot that people are going to be able to do on them. I think that he's incredible. I think that just this in general of being able to steal is really, really solid. I think that it's incredibly great, and people are going to need a little bit more time. One more thing that I really, really want to go over. I know this is not nearly as long as the magic video, but there's a lot less to cover because this kit is, well, hard. It's kind of simple, the game plan for it. Now, he's actually okay at anti-earring. I know that sounds fucking weird, but check this shit out.
Let's do this.
I just got robbed. Hello? Marvel? So, the one thing, his hitbox can be a little buggy at times, but anyway, I'll try to get this, right here. We'll see how good this can be. Check this shit out. That guy's dead. Doesn't matter who that is. And oftentimes, because you're going so far in the air, you're going to be able to isolate that person. Isolating 1v1s on Wolverine is your biggest thing. You really, really want it. It's your bread and butter. And he's really good at it because, and he's honestly even better at it than Magic, who we covered it in the last video. Again, he's just going to need time to cook, and he'll be phenomenal. I think that this character is going to be absolutely insane. I think that people are just going to have to figure him out a little bit more. I mean, after a day of playing him and really, really grinding on him, you'll see I started to get it down and I started to hit my stride, and I really enjoyed it. And now I can actually consider playing this character when tanks are at their best in a match. When tanks are carrying, this is the guy. This is him. This is the guy from Spy Kids Game Over. You want to play him. On God. Cannot stress this enough. Really, really, really honest. Wolverine's great. You guys should actually go and consider playing him. Also, I want to say a big thank you. I saw all of you guys. I'm assuming down here is what you mean. I actually did not know that there is a room down here that you can choose to fight moving characters on. Super duper helpful. I didn't know that. How do I do that? Oh wait, parameters? Oh, here we go. Galactobot, we'll change it to Doctor Strange so we can do some tanks. And we'll move action random. Movement speed quick. Enter. Alright, so let's see it. Alright, we'll go ahead and start it up again. Cooldown. Bro, what? Alright, let's see it.
2, 1.
Okay. And you just want to, like, kind of, you can come in here, you can practice the right click, the little thing. You actually really want to, like, learn how to flick with this character a little bit. So that way you can really maximize how much you're helping your team out with that. And you can also practice the ult a little bit. Get accustomed to that as well. As you can see, I'm doing damage to these tanks, by the way. It's really, really crazy. So you want to come in here, you want to practice your flick, because it can be a little finicky, especially whenever you're doing it on the spot. But I'm glad that we found that. That's going to be really helpful. Awesome to have a little training area in the game itself. Anyway, without further ado, It's a little bit shorter than the magic one, but I hope that this was of some help to you guys. There's a Wolverine video dropping tomorrow that's going to have some of the clips from my stream I played tonight on it. We played some ranked. It was a really, really good time. We're climbing. We're having awesome, awesome moments. Anyway, I love you guys. I adore you so much. Thank you guys so much for all the support. We actually hit 500 subs, and we're on our way to 600. Believe it or not, already. It's crazy. I know. You guys are killing it. As usual. I can't believe it. I take a week-long break because I'm sick. I come back, and I have an awesome corner of the internet to call mine. You guys are amazing. I love you. Remember, if you're watching in the afternoon, eat your lunch. It's super important. If you don't, I'm going to get really, really pissed. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you. Later.